just quickly just see what all things we have learned. We have learned about motion palettes, that is related to the movement of the scratch sprite. Okay, then we have learned about the looks palette, how you can change the color, the different effects on the sprite you can give by changing color, size, hiding, showing the character, right? Then we have learned about the sound, how you add the music, we have learned it, right? Then how do you start your project by pressing on the green flag or maybe space key button. All this thing is required when you do coding. Any kind of a game you play online or mobile phone, it starts with some button, right? You click on that button and the game starts, right? The same way here also we are doing. Then in the game we have the conditions like if block, forever time you are repeating some conditions. Then you have the score. All this thing is a part of the game, so we are learning the same thing. Then last class we have learned about the costume, right? How do you change the costume of the same sprite? That means the same sprite can have a different appearance, right? So this is what we have learned. Now let's continue for the new topic.
In this session, we are going to learn how to draw different shapes using pen pal.
So last class we just started with this topic. So again, I'm just starting with the topic and we can revise and we continue from there. Okay. So we can draw any shape also using pen palette. We have learned a little bit last class. Now, how do you add that pen block? If you look at the left hand side, we don't have any such blocks over here, right? Regarding the pen palette. So how do you add it? You have to go to the left bottom side. You have the plus button over there, using which you can add the external extra blocks also. So let's continue.
So, if pen palette is not available over here, you can click on this option to add pen palette extension. Then you can click on this pen, and this is how pen palette will get added. So first we will try to draw a square shape. For that, we will go to events and we will select when green flag is clicked. Now, in order to draw something, our pen has to be down. For that, we will go to pen palette and we will select pen down. Now, as we want to draw a square and we know square has 4 sides. So first we want to draw a straight line and then we want the pen should take a turn, exact 90-degree turn, then draw a straight line again. After that, again it should take a 90-degree turn and this process should continue 4 times. For that, we will go to motion and we will select move steps. This block will allow us to draw a line. So here instead of 10, we will make move 100 steps and then we will select turn 15 degrees block. Instead of 15 degree, we will mention 90 degree. So this move 100 and turn 90 degree, these 2 steps should repeat 4 times. For that, we will go to control and we will select repeat block. Drag it and connect it here. So this is how your move and turn block is inside repeat block. Now, instead of repeating 10 times, we want it should repeat 4 times. So here we will mention number 4. Now let's see how it works. So here we can see the cat is drawing a square properly, but it's happening too fast. For that, we will go to control and we will add some delay. So drag this weight block and connect it over here. Now let's click on the green flag again. Here we can see as soon as we clicked on the green flag, cat is drawing a square. But the previous drawing is there only. In order to delete the previous drawing, you can click on the pen palette and you can select erase all option. So whenever user will click on the green flag, first it will erase your previous drawing, it will erase everything and then only it will start drawing your shape. So let's see how it works. Now we can see the previous drawing got erased and then a new square is available. Now in order to increase the thickness of this square, you can select set pen size option. So drag it and connect it here. Instead of mentioning pen size as 1, You can write pen size as, let's say, number 5. Let's see how it looks. So this is how we can see the square shape is visible properly. Now, if you want to draw a square using a specific color, then you can select Set Pen Color option, drag it and connect it here. So let's say I'm writing number 20. And let's click on the green flag. Over here we can see it's drawing a square using green color. So this is how you can change the number and it will change the color of your square. Now, what if you don't want to specify one single color? You want every time when it is drawing a square, some different color should appear. For that, you can remove this set pen color option and you can add change pen color option inside a repeat block. So drag it and connect it inside the repeat block. Change pen color by 10. Here you can mention number 20 also. So let's see how it works. We can see every time when it is drawing a square, some other color is appearing. Now, let's go to looks palette. From here, we will select say block, drag it and connect it here. Here we can write message as, let's draw a square. So here, before erasing the previous drawing, it is displaying a message, let's draw a square. We don't want that. We want first it should erase the previous drawing and then only it should display a message. For that, we will put this erase block on top and after erasing the drawing, we want to display the message. So we will shift this say block below the erase all block. Now let's see. Now it's working properly. You can save this project.
Now, what is happening over here? Did you see that whatever part you want to repeat, you need to write it inside the repeat block, and whatever is just a setup, मतलब एक ही बार करना है, so that you have to write it above the repeat block. Okay, so whenever you do any program, आपको जो भी सेटअप करना है, जो एक ही बार सेट करना है, all that thing you have to write it outside the repeat block or forever block, whatever you are using it, and whatever part you want to repeat again and again, that you have to write it inside the repeat block. Make sure this fits in your mind, because that is where the children are struggling sometimes.
By clicking on File, Save to your computer option, select Desktop. I have created my folder on desktop name as Mamta. You also have to create your folder and save it in the same folder. So let's write project name as Square. Now let's try to draw a triangle. For that, we will select when green flag is clicked. From pen palette, we will select erase all and then we will select pen down. Now let's go to motion and we will add move some steps. So instead of 10, let's say I'm mentioning move 100 steps or move 50 steps. Now let's see how it works. Here we can see it is drawing a straight line. After this, we want it should take a turn. For that, we will select turn block. Instead of mentioning 15 degrees, let's say we will add number 60 and we will see how it works. It is taking a turn. Now, triangle is having 3 sides. So let's try to put these 2 blocks inside repeat block. So go to control and add a repeat block. Instead of repeating 10 times, we will repeat it 3 times. And we will see how it works. Here we can see, instead of 60 degrees, let's try to put 100 degrees. Here we can see by turning 100 degrees also it is not drawing a proper triangle. So let's try to put 120 degree. Here we can see it is drawing a triangle properly. For this project also you can add set pen size option. So let's say pen size at 7 and we will set pen color to, let's say, number 5. Here we can see it is drawing a triangle properly. Here also we will add a message. Let's draw a triangle. So this is how we can draw a triangle shape. Let's save this project, name as triangle. Now create a new file and we will try to draw a circle shape. For that we will go to events and we will select when green flag is clicked. Then from pen palette we will select erase all and pen down. Now let's go to motion and we will select move some steps. Here we will mention move one step and then we will add a turn block. Turn 1 degree. Now we know one complete circle is nothing but 360 degrees. So we want it should move and it should take turn 360 times. Hence we will go to control and we will add a repeat block. Instead of repeating 10 times, we will repeat it for 360 times. Now let's see how it works. Here we can see it's drawing a circle. Here also you can put a message. So here we'll mention, let's draw a circle. So this is how you can draw a circle shape. So let's save this with name as circle. Now we will try to draw a flower shape. For that, we will create a new scratch file and we will select when green flag is clicked. Over here, we will select erase all and then we will add pen down option. So first we will try to draw a rhombus. So rhombus will be one petal of our flower. For that, we will go to motion and we will select move 100 steps and then take a 60-degree turn. So we will add turn block and we will mention 60 degrees. Then let's add some delay. Wait for 1 second. Then we will select move 100 steps and take 120-degree turn. As we all know, rhombus is having 4 sides and here we mention the code to go forward and take turn twice. So we will put this in a repeat block and we will repeat it 2 times. Now let's see whether it's drawing a rhombus or not. Here we can see the rhombus is visible properly. Now we want this process should continue again and again so that it can draw multiple petals for our flower. For that, we will select a repeat block and we will put it here. This is the outer repeat block. So let's say you want to draw 24 petals of flower. So here you mention repeat 24 times. And here we will mention turn 15 degrees block, drag it and connect it here. Now let's see how it works. can see it is drawing a rhombus 24 times. We can see a complete flower. If you want, in between it should change the color while drawing this, then you can go to pen palette and you can add change pen color by, drag it and connect it here. Now let's see. Over here we can see while drawing a flower, it is changing the color.
So this is how you can try different variations, and you can keep drawing the different shapes by your choice. This is what we have tried and error. So by doing the different combinations and trial and error, you can try different shapes.
Hi everyone. In
So now we continue
Hi
with the next
everyone.
project. So understood everyone about the pen palette? Any doubt, anybody? Anyone have any doubt, any queries you want to ask? Before going to the new topic, if you have any queries, we can discuss right now. Anyone? You understood? Show me a thumbs up. Or maybe you do like this, right? Okay, that's great. So keep trying all this thing. Okay, you can just by adding a combination of turn, degree, then move steps, then by writing a different coordinates, you can specify the coordinates also, right? Which coordinate you want to go, and you can draw that way also. So keep trying this different combination. You can come out with the new shape. Okay. Now let's go to the new topic, everyone. I'm sharing my screen.
In this session, we are going to create Feed the Beetle animation. So let's see how this project works. In order to start this project, user has to click on the green flag. Over here we can see there are total two sprites, beetle and the apple. User can control the movement of this beetle sprite using up, down, left and right arrow key. So whenever user is pressing up arrow key on their keyboard, we can see beetle is first pointing in up direction and then it's moving. Similarly, when user is pressing down arrow key on their keyboard, beetle is first pointing in down direction and then it's moving. Similarly, when user is pressing left arrow key, beetle is pointing in left direction and it is moving. Now, whenever user is pressing right arrow key, beetle is moving in right direction. So this is how user can control the movement of this beetle. Now, the beetle has to reach towards this apple. As soon as beetle will touch the apple, apple will get height and it will appear somewhere at the random location. So it's looking like beetle is eating the apple. So whenever beetle is touching the apple, we can see some sound is also coming, and along with that, beetle is going to any random location. So let's get started with this project. For this, you have to create a new scratch file. So click on File and select New. Now, delete this orange cat. Click on this option to choose a sprite. Now, from this sprite library, you can select a beetle. Now, let's select the food for our beetle. As of now, I am selecting apple. You can select any other food of your choice also. So let's click on this. This is how we have added two sprites, beetle and apple. Now let's select one nice backdrop. For that, click on this option to choose a backdrop. Now out of this, I am going to select this forest one. So first we will do programming for our beetle sprite. So let's click on the beetle sprite. Now from events palette, we will select when green flag is clicked. We want this animation should start when user will click on the green flag. You can select any other event of your choice also. Now, when green flag is clicked, that time we want the beetle should be visible on the stage area. For that, we will go to looks and we will select show. Same thing we want to do for apple sprite also. So we will drag this code and we will paste it here in the apple sprite. Now let's go to apple and check whether that code is available or not. So over here we can see the same code is there for apple sprite also. Now let's go back to our beetle sprite. So here we want when user is clicking on up arrow key, beetle should point in up direction. For that, we will go to events palette and from here we will select when space key is pressed. Click on this drop down menu and select up arrow. So when up arrow key is pressed, we want beetle should look up. It should point in up direction. For that, we will go to motion palette. From here, we will select point in direction 90. Now, when you select any sprite, by default, its direction will be 90, which is right direction. So just click on this 90 and instead of right direction, we will select up direction. So scroll this arrow and put it here. So this is how 0 means up direction, positive 90 means right direction, 180 indicates down direction, and negative 90 indicates left direction. So for up arrow key, we will select point and direction 0. Now let's see how it works. Click on the up arrow key on your keyboard and see whether beetle is pointing in up direction or not. So here we can see beetle is pointing in up direction. Now let's do the same code for down arrow key. You can right click on this and say duplicate. Put it down. Now click on this up arrow key and select down arrow. When down arrow key is pressed, now instead of 0, here you can select 180, which indicates down direction. Same thing we will do for left and right arrow. So right click on it one more time and select duplicate. Over here, instead of down arrow key, we will select right arrow. So when right arrow key is pressed, we want beetle should point in right direction. So over here, instead of 180, we will select 90. Now let's right click on it and select duplicate. Instead of right arrow key, here we will select left arrow key and we will mention its direction as negative 90, which indicates left direction. Now let's see whether it's working or not. We will maximize the output screen. Let's click on the right arrow key. So when I'm pressing right arrow key, beetle is pointing in right direction. When I'm pressing down arrow key, beetle is pointing in down direction. Similarly, left arrow key, up arrow key, everything is working properly. But right now, beetle is only pointing in all four directions. It is not moving at all. So let's go back to the code section. Over here, along with this point in direction block, we need to add move 10 steps block also. So over here, along with this point in direction block, we need to add move 10 steps block also. So drag this block and connect it over here. We will put this block for all four directions. So let's check the output. Now if I am pressing up arrow key, we can see beetle is pointing in up direction as well as it is moving. So it is pointing and it is moving properly for all four directions. Now let's do the coding for apple sprite. So let's click on this apple. Now we want when beetle will touch the apple sprite, apple should go back to any random location. For that, we will go to control palette and we will select if then block. This block is useful when we want to check for any particular condition. So let's go to the sensing palette. From here, we will select touching mouse pointer, drag it and connect it here.
So now here, children, if you notice, we are using this sensing palette block. So whenever in any kind of a game, so here we are making a very small project where, beetle is going towards the apple and the apple is changing the location immediately, right? So it looks like that the beetle is eating the apple, right? So once you eat the apple, you go to another location, you get the another apple. We are trying to make something like this. So every time you make this kind of a game where one character is touching other character and something should happen, that time we have to use this sensing palette block. Now in this sensing palette block, if you notice, we have different blocks over here. Either we are sensing any other character touching or mouse pointer touching, or you are maybe touching the color. So here, instead of, see, we have the apple is a different sprite only, right? So you can directly select the name of the apple sprite, or else you can try touching the color method also over here. But I would not suggest the color method, because what happens, right, we might have the same color somewhere else in the background, or maybe in the same sprite, so it will not work properly. So always go for the name, that is always safe. Now you can notice over here we have the key press option also, that if this key is pressed. So there are so many different blocks in the sensing palette. We'll be learning it slowly, but you can try practicing at home with the different characters and the different sprite.
Click on this drop down menu and select beetle. So here apple sprite is checking whether beetle is touching me or not. If it is yes, if this condition is true, then what should happen? That part of code we will write over here inside this. So if beetle is touching the apple, then we want apple should hide and it should go to any random location. So we will go to motion palette and from here we will select go to random position. Drag it and connect it here. So here, whenever you are checking for any particular condition and you are using if then and sensing block.
So here we are doing this program inside the Apple sprite. So what we want to do, if you are doing the program in the Apple, so Apple cannot touch itself Apple and sense it, right? So we have to write a program for other sprite over here. So inside the Apple we are doing program. So we should be writing a program as touching beetle or maybe any other sprite. But you cannot write program for same sprite within the same code. Okay. So here, and we wanted to move the apple to the random location, right? So that's the reason this program should be done inside the apple sprite, which makes your coding easy. You, if you write the same program inside the beetle, if beetle is touching apple, then how will you inform the apple it has to change the location? It would have become a longer procedure. So better to think that where you want to do what kind of a program and write a code accordingly in that sprite. Okay, this is how you do a smart programming, by thinking that what has to be done, where if you write that program it makes it smaller and easily doable. Okay, now also one more thing, continuously, are we checking that apple is touching the beetle continuously or only one time when you click on the green flag? We are not checking only one time, right? We have to check continuously till the user is playing the game. So whenever you write this kind of a conditional block, that if one character is touching other character, it should be done always inside the forever, because children always forget to write this kind of a program inside the forever. They will write the code but they'll forget about the forever block. So make sure whenever you do this, if else condition, majority of the time this will come inside the forever block.
That time forever has to be there. So we will go to control and we will select the forever block. Drag it and connect it here. So this is how your if then block is inside your forever block. Now let's see how it works. So here you can see whenever beetle is touching the apple, apple is going to random location. But the sound is not coming. So let's do the coding for this part. For that, first we will go to the sound. From here, let's click on choose the sound option. This is the sound library. From here, you can select any sound of your choice. So as of now, I am selecting a pop sound. I am going to select this pop sound. So over here in the list, you can see that sound is available. Now let's go to the code section. From here, we will select the sound palette and we will select start sound block. Drag it and connect it over here. So when apple will touch the beetle, apple will go to random location and it will start the pop sound. So let's see how it works. Here we can see if beetle is touching the apple, apple is going to random location and sound is also coming.
Understood everyone this project? Any doubt, anyone? Anyone, any doubt till now? Please go home and practice now.
Hi everyone. In this
every
session,
class
we
we will
make
have
a project.
every class we will have a different difficulty level will increase. Now we are going to start with making a games, and also that will be difficult and you cannot remember the codes. Okay, so go home, practice, save your code. You know how to save the project now, right? So please go home and save it in your free time. Now we'll continue with the next project. Anyone want to ask any doubt? Anybody? Okay, we move ahead. I'll share my screen.
Using sensing palette. So let's see how it works. In order to start this project, user has to click on the green flag. So let's click on the green flag and see how it works. Here we can see the building is continuously moving from right towards left direction and there is one bat sprite. We can control the movement of this bat sprite using up and down arrow key on the keyboard. So when user will click on the up arrow key on their keyboard, bat will move up, and whenever user will press the down arrow key on their keyboard, bat will move down. This is how we can control the movement of the bat. Now, if bat will touch the building by mistake, we can see sound is coming. This is how bat and building project. So let's get started with it. For this, you have to create a new scratch file. Delete this orange cat. Now let's select a building sprite. So here you can search for building. Instead of building, you can select any of the sprite as your obstacle. So here I have selected one building sprite. Now let's select a bat sprite. So this is how we have selected two sprites. Now let's select one nice backdrop. So I have selected this picture as my background. Now let's do the programming for building sprite. So first we will go to events and we will select when green flag is clicked. At the beginning we want building sprite should stay somewhere over here on extreme right side. So we will keep our building to its original position. Then we will go to motion palette. Using go to X and Y block, we can fix the starting position of this building sprites. So let's drag it and connect it over here. Now the next thing is we want building should continuously move from right towards left direction. And while moving, we should see how it is moving from one location to another location. For this, we can use glide block. So you have to drag this building sprite from its original position towards its destination. So we will keep it somewhere here on extreme left and then we will select the glide block. Glide X and Y. Drag it and connect it here. Now let's click on the green flag and see how it works. Over here we can see the building sprite is moving properly from one location to another. But it is happening only once. We want the building sprite should continuously move from right direction to the left direction. In order to do that, we will go to control palette and we will select a forever block. Drag it and connect it here. This is how your go to and glide block, it is inside the forever block. Now let's see how it works. Over here we can see now the building sprite is moving properly from right direction towards left. Now let's do the coding for bat sprite. So we will click on the bat sprite. Now for the bat sprite, we want whenever user will press up arrow key on their keyboard, bat should move up. For that, we will go to control and we will select if then block. This block will help us to check for any particular condition. Now, let's go to the sensing palette. From here, we will select key space press. We will drag it and we will connect it here. Now, click on this drop down menu and select up arrow. So, if up arrow key is pressed, then we want bat should move up. So now, up and down movement is related to y-axis. So whenever we want our sprite to move upwards, the coordinate has to be positive, and on the other side, when we want our sprite to move down, that time the coordinate has to be negative. So we will go to motion palette, scroll little down. From here you can select change Y by option. Drag it and connect it here. For this project, we don't want bat to move towards left and right. It should move only up and down. And for that, we are only focusing on y-axis. So change y by positive 10. Now, we want to check this condition. So in the if block, we are checking for whether up arrow key is pressed or not. So this condition we want to check again and again continuously, and hence we will go to control palette and we will add one forever block.
So we stop here. So you can notice over here what is happening. We are doing the up and down program in a different way. In the last project, we did it simply when up arrow key is pressed, go upward direction. Now here we are doing using if condition and the sensing palette method. So now we will continue the down arrow key program and the rest of the program next class. As we are done for the day, we need to stop here. So anyone, any doubt, children? Please go home, practice. Next class, if you have any doubt, you can write your doubt and come up. We can solve in the class also. Okay, everyone? I hope you all enjoyed it. Bye-bye.